Hariom, is there real science behind astrology? Should we trust astrologers' prediction to the future?
Indians only had something called Jyotish. What is Jyotish? Intricate astronomy of the movement of planets and moon and the sun with deep mathematics called Siddhantas. For example, Surya Siddhanta. So our ancestors had done enormous amount of study of the movement of the heavenly bodies and tracking their movement and had mathematics for the cyclical movements and so on. Now, Western scholars invented the word astrology, which is really applicable to the ancient Greek and Babylonian works. Arabs studied Indian astronomy and mathematics from about 711 current era, and the West learned the same astronomy and mathematics through the Arabs in the 10th to 14th centuries in both Sicily in Italy as well as Toledo in Spain. After Galileo's discovery of the telescope, the West called this science as astronomy and positioned Indians as possessing only the discredited astrology. Now, such a positioning is false. Jyotish is the Indian word for the deep mathematical astronomy works which has been done over many, many centuries. Now, Varahamihira of Ujjain, he studied the various Siddhantas and wrote the work called Brihad Jataka around 550 current era. Now, Indians observed cycles in nature, biological cycles, weather cycles, astronomical seasons, and created cyclical models such as yugas and calendars. Hindus also believe in karma as a driver of outcomes in cyclical lifetimes. So it was natural for ancient Indians to take the human condition and the psychological states, which they saw also as cyclical, and map them to some outcomes. Now, the outcomes can be favorable or unfavorable, and they pegged all of these things to the mathematical astronomical calendars, evolving in an empirical sense. So, the branch of predictive Jyotish evolved in addition to mathematical Jyotish, creating customized models of individuals based on astronomical positions, correlating with their contextual situations as a window to predict favorable and unfavorable periods. It is very important to understand that what is the Jyotish model used and what is the validity of calculations made by experienced Jyotishirs and consider the results carefully. Now, I don't expect you as children to understand this, but as you grow older, you might want to investigate these things more. One should use rational, logical thinking in accepting or rejecting any model, calculation, or claims and not follow blind statements to reject ancient works because somebody told you to do so. Every model used should be subjected to scrutiny on assumptions, methods, and claims before we can accept that model. What do I mean by all that? The question is, can models even predict? Well, engineers use mathematical models all the time to predict behaviors. A good Jyotish, who's also a good psychologist, can follow generic prescriptions on the astronomical modeling and predict periods of psychological outcomes. Models can be wrong if the data or methods are incorrect. In the hands of experienced Jyotishirs, the readings are more likely to correlate favorably with that individual's experience. So now, as rational and logical people, we should keep an open mind to hypotheses while devising intelligent tests to test the claims. In general, you should not want to know your future. In this sense, belief in Bhagwan, abiding by dharmic living, aware of our karmic footprint, should guide us through difficult and good times.